Step away from her, or you will regret breathing.
The divorce papers were supposed to arrive next Tuesday. Instead, I found my wife's sister living in our guest room with her 3 kids and a boyfriend I'd never met, eating cereal from my grandmother's china bowls. "Eddie, you're home early," Monica called from the kitchen, her voice carrying that fake sweetness she used when she'd been caught doing something she shouldn't. I'd been hearing that tone a lot lately. I stood in the doorway of what used to be my home office, now transformed into a makeshift nursery complete with a crib, toys scattered across my Persian rug, and what appeared to be permanent marker artwork on my freshly painted walls. The smell of dirty diapers hung in the air like a toxic cloud. "What the hell is this, Mun?" I kept my voice level, but my hands were already clenching into fists. 20 years in the Army had taught me control, but Monica had been testing those limits for months. "Oh, this is my sister Lana and her family. They needed a place to stay for a few weeks. I told you about this." She appeared in the doorway, perfectly made up, despite it being 7 in the morning. Her blonde hair styled like she was heading to a photo shoot instead of her VP job at TechFlow Solutions. "No, Monica, you definitely didn't tell me about this." I gestured toward the chaos. "And who's the guy in my leather recliner watching my 75-inch TV? "That's Derek, Lana's boyfriend. He's between jobs right now." Between jobs, right? The guy looked like he'd been between jobs for about a decade, judging by the beer gut and the way he'd already made himself at home with my remote control. "Eddie." Lana bounced into the room like a hyperactive teenager, though she had to be pushing 35. "So good to finally meet Monica's husband. She's told me so much about you." I'll bet she had. I could imagine those conversations. "My husband's never home. He won't notice a few extra people. He's too stupid to figure out what's really going on." "How long exactly is a few weeks, Lana?" "Oh, you know how it is. Derek's got some big opportunities coming up. We just need to get back on our feet. Kids, come say hi to Uncle Eddie." 3 small tornadoes of destruction came barreling toward me, sticky hands reaching for my work clothes. I stepped back instinctively. The youngest, who couldn't have been more than 2, was carrying what looked like a permanent marker without a cap. "I need to talk to my wife. Alone." Monica's smile faltered for just a second, but she recovered quickly. "Kids, why don't you go watch cartoons with Derek? Uncle Eddie and I need to discuss some boring grown-up stuff." We waited until the chaos had moved back to the living room, where I could hear Derek cranking up the volume on what sounded like a reality show about people fighting over storage units. "Monica, what the actual hell? They're family, Eddie. What was I supposed to do? Let them live on the street?" "You were supposed to ask me. This is my house too, or have you forgotten that?" She crossed her arms, and I recognized the stance. This was Monica preparing for battle. "Your house? I seem to remember my name being on the deed too, and my paycheck contributing to the mortgage." "Your paycheck that comes from the job where you've been working late every single night for the past 3 months?" Her face went pale, just for a second. "Bingo. I've been busy with the Henderson account. You know how important this promotion is to me." "Right. The Henderson account. The one that requires you to come home at 3 in the morning smelling like expensive cologne that isn't mine." "I don't know what you're implying, but—" "I'm not implying anything, Mun. I'm stating facts. You've been cheating on me, and now you've moved your sister's entire family into our house without asking me. So let me ask you again, what the hell is going on?" The sound of something crashing came from the living room, followed by Derek's voice. "It's cool, it wasn't expensive looking." Monica's jaw tightened. "We'll talk about this later. I'm already late for work." "No, we'll talk about this now." "Eddie, I don't have time for your paranoid fantasies. Some of us have real jobs with real responsibilities." That stung, and she knew it. My home security consulting business had taken a hit during the pandemic, and Monica never let me forget that her corporate salary was keeping us afloat. Paranoid fantasies? Is that what we're calling it when I find a burner phone in your purse? The color drained from her face completely this time. "You went through my purse?" "I was looking for aspirin. Imagine my surprise when I found a phone I'd never seen before, full of text messages from someone named Brady. Very detailed text messages, Monica, very graphic." She tried to grab for the phone I'd pulled from my pocket, but I held it out of reach. "Give me that!" "Can't wait to feel you again. Monica, you drive me crazy. Tell me what you want me to do to you. Should I keep reading, or do you want to explain who Brady is?" "It's not what you think." "Really? Because what I think is that my wife has been screwing some guy named Brady while I've been working 16-hour days trying to keep our business afloat. What I think is that you moved your sister in here to create chaos and distraction so I wouldn't notice you sneaking around. What I think is that you've been planning this for months. Tears started flowing down her cheeks, but they looked calculated. Monica had always been able to cry on command. Eddie, please. It's complicated. Uncomplicated. From the living room came the sound of Derek's voice. Lana, where do you keep the beer in this place? Monica wiped her eyes, smearing her mascara. He's someone I work with. It started out innocent, just talking about work stress, and then you decided to send him pictures of yourself without clothes. Her mouth fell open. How did you? I'm not stupid, Monica. I might not have your fancy MBA, but I know how to scroll through a phone. I've seen everything. The photos, the videos, the detailed plans for your little weekend getaways. She sank into one of the kitchen chairs, her perfectly composed facade finally cracking. Eddie, I'm sorry. I never meant for it to happen. But it did happen. For months. While I've been working my A off, while I've been trying to save our marriage, while I've been lying awake at night wondering why my wife doesn't want to touch me anymore. I do want to touch you. No, Monica. You want to touch Brady. You want Brady to do things to you that you haven't let me do in over a year. I read the messages, remember? The crying intensified, but I wasn't buying it anymore. What do you want from me, Eddie? You want me to beg? You want me to promise it'll never happen again? I want you to tell me the truth. All of it. How long has this been going on? How many times have you been with him? And what the hell does your sister moving in have to do with any of this? She looked up at me, and for a moment I saw something that might have been genuine remorse. 6 months. It's been going on for 6 months. 6 months. While I'd been planning our 10th wedding anniversary trip. While I'd been looking at houses in better neighborhoods. While I'd been like an idiot, thinking we were building a life together. And Lana? She really did need a place to stay, but I thought if there were more people around, more chaos, you wouldn't notice if I was gone more often. At least she was finally being honest. So you used your sister's problems to cover up your affair? It wasn't supposed to go this far. It was just supposed to be a distraction until I could figure things out. Figure what out? She looked down at her hands. Whether I wanted to stay married? The words hit me like a physical blow. And, I don't know. From the living room came another crash, followed by one of the kids screaming. Derek's voice boomed over it all. Somebody needs to baby-proof this place. I looked at Monica, sitting there in her designer clothes, makeup streaked down her face, surrounded by the chaos she'd brought into our home. 6 months of lies, 6 months of betrayal, 6 months of making me feel like I was losing my mind. Well, I know, I said quietly. She looked up at me hopefully. Eddie? I want you out. All of you, today. You can't be serious. Dead serious. You, your sister, her boyfriend, and her kids. Gone by tonight. Eddie, be reasonable. Lana has nowhere else to go. That's not my problem anymore. This is my house too. Then buy me out, or I'll buy you out. But I'm not living like this anymore. She stood up, and I could see her switching tactics. The tears stopped, and her voice got harder. You think you can just throw us out? You think you can punish me for making one mistake? One mistake? Monica, you've been having an affair for 6 months. You moved your sister's family into our house without asking me. You've been lying to my face every single day. That's not one mistake. That's a pattern of behavior. Fine. You want to play hardball? We'll play hardball. I make more money than you do. I can afford a better lawyer. You want to divorce me? Good luck keeping this house. And there it was, the real Monica, finally showing her true colors. We'll see about that. What's that supposed to mean? I held up the burner phone. It means I have evidence of your affair. It means I have proof that you deliberately deceived me about your sister moving in. It means that when we go to court, the judge is going to hear about all of this. Her face went white again. You wouldn't. Try me. The sound of my front door opening interrupted us. Derek's voice called out, Lana, I'm going to the store. You need anything? Actually, Derek, I called back, walking toward the living room. You need to pack up your stuff. You're all leaving today. Derek looked up from my recliner, a beer in his hand that he'd apparently found somewhere. What's that now? I said you're leaving. Today, all of you. Now hold on there, Eddie. Lana's family. Monica invited us. and I'm uninviting you. This is my house, and I want you gone." Derek stood up, and I could see he was trying to decide whether to make this a physical confrontation. He was bigger than me, but soft. I'd stayed in shape since leaving the army. More importantly, I'd stayed sharp. "Derek, don't," Lana said from the kitchen doorway. "Let's just go." "No way, we just got settled. Monica said we could stay as long as we needed." "Monica doesn't make decisions about my house without consulting me. And she didn't consult me." "Your house? Man, that's some sexist BS right there." I felt my temper starting to slip. "Sexist? You want to know what's sexist? Moving into someone's home without their permission and drinking their beer while your girlfriend's sister destroys their marriage? Hey, I don't know nothing about Monica's marriage problems, but you're happy to benefit from them." Derek set down the beer and took a step toward me. "You got something to say to me? Say it." "I just did. Get out of my house." "Derek, please." Lana was wringing her hands. "We can find somewhere else to go." "No, we can't. And we shouldn't have to. Monica invited us." "Monica's not in charge here anymore." That's when Monica appeared in the doorway, her makeup fixed and her game face back on. "Actually, Eddie, I think you'll find that I am. This is a community property state, which means I own half of everything, including this house, and I say my sister stays." I looked at her, really looked at her, and realized I was seeing my wife clearly for the first time in years. The manipulation, the calculation, the complete disregard for anyone but herself. How had I missed it for so long? "Fine," I said quietly. "Then I guess we'll let the lawyers sort it out." "Good. I'm calling mine this morning. You do that. In the meantime, I'll be staying at Duke's place." Duke was my old army buddy who ran security at a downtown nightclub. He'd been telling me for months that Monica was bad news. Looked like he was right. "Running away, Eddie? That's mature." "Not running away, Monica. Strategic retreat. There's a difference." I headed toward the bedroom to pack a bag, but her voice stopped me. "Eddie, you should know that Brady's not just some random guy from work." I turned around. "What's that supposed to mean?" "He's the CEO of Voss Industries. They're TechFlow's biggest client. If you try to make trouble for me, you'll be hurting a lot more people than just me." "Is that a threat?" "It's a fact. Brady has a lot of influence in this town, a lot of connections. You might want to think about that before you do something you'll regret." I stared at her for a long moment. "You know what, Monica? I think I'm way past worrying about regret." As I headed upstairs to pack, I could hear Derek opening another beer and Lana trying to calm down the kids, who were now fighting over something they'd probably broken. Monica's heels clicked across the hardwood floor as she gathered her things for work. Just another normal morning in the Harlan household, except nothing would ever be normal again. Duke's apartment was exactly what you'd expect from a guy who spent his nights throwing drunk people out of nightclubs. Sparse, functional, and clean enough to pass military inspection. The couch was surprisingly comfortable, which was good since I'd been sleeping on it for 3 days. "You look like hell," Duke said, handing me a cup of coffee that could probably strip paint. "When's the last time you slept?" "Define sleep. More than 2 hours at a stretch." "Then it's been a while." Duke was one of those guys who looked like he could bench press a small car, but he had the instincts of a chess master. We'd served together in Middle East, where his ability to read people had saved our unit more times than I could count. "You need to eat something besides coffee and rage." "I'm not hungry." "Yeah, you are. You're just too pissed off to notice." He tossed me a protein bar. "Eat." I unwrapped the bar mechanically. "Monica's lawyer called yesterday." "What do you want?" "To inform me that I have no legal right to kick anyone out of the house without going through proper eviction procedures. Apparently, once someone establishes residency, even without a lease, they have rights." "That's some grade A BS. It gets better. Monica's claiming that I threatened Derek with physical violence." Duke raised an eyebrow. "Did you?" "I told him to get out of my house. Apparently, that constitutes a threat." "So what's your lawyer say?" "That I need to document everything. Every lie, every affair-related expense, every way she's violated our marriage." "You got proof of the affair?" I pulled out the burner phone. "Photos, videos, text messages going back 6 months. Plus, I've got bank statements showing charges at hotels and restaurants I never went to." "That should be enough." "You'd think so. But Monica's lawyer is claiming that her relationship with Brady started after our marriage was already over. She's saying we've been separated in all but name for over a year. That's not true." "Doesn't matter. if it's true. Matters if she can prove it, and apparently she's got witnesses who'll testify that I've been emotionally absent and verbally abusive. Duke's expression darkened. What witnesses? Lana, for starters. Derek. Probably some of Monica's work friends. People who barely know you. People who'll say whatever Monica tells them to say. I'd been going over this in my head for days. Monica wasn't just cheating on me. She was building a case against me. The sister moving in, the claims of threats and misuse, the witnesses ready to testify to my supposed bad behavior. It was all calculated. So, what's the plan? I don't know yet, but I'm not going down without a fight. My phone buzzed. Text message from an unknown number. This is Brady. We need to talk. I showed the message to Duke. Well, that's interesting. You going to meet with him? Hell yes, I'm going to meet with him. Want backup? Not yet. Let me see what he has to say first. I texted back, when and where. The response came immediately. Tonight, 8 p.m., Murphy's Bar on 5th Street. Murphy's was a dive bar in the warehouse district. Not the kind of place I'd expect a CEO to frequent, but maybe that was the point. You sure about this? Duke asked. No, but I'm doing it anyway. That evening, I arrived at Murphy's 15 minutes early. The place was exactly as advertised. Dark, smoky, and filled with people who minded their own business. I ordered a beer and waited. Brady Voss walked in at exactly 8 o'clock. He was younger than I'd expected, maybe mid-30s, with the kind of artificially perfect appearance that screamed expensive personal trainer and even more expensive grooming. He looked around the bar like he was afraid he might catch something, then spotted me and walked over. Eddie Harlan? That's me. He slid into the booth across from me, declining my offer to buy him a drink. This is awkward. For you, maybe. Look, I want you to know that I never intended for things to go this far with Monica. How far did you intend for them to go? He had the grace to look uncomfortable. It started out innocent, just conversation. Monica was having problems at home, and I was going through my own divorce. So you thought you'd solve your problems together. It wasn't like that. What was it like, Brady? He ran a hand through his perfectly styled hair. Monica's an amazing woman. She's smart, funny, ambitious. She deserves better than what? Than being married to someone who doesn't appreciate her? I felt my temper starting to rise, but I kept my voice level. And you think you know what I do or don't appreciate about my wife? I know she's been unhappy for a long time. Did she tell you that before or after she sent you without clothes pictures? His face flushed. We never meant for it to become physical. But it did. Yes. How many times? How many times, Brady? He looked down at his hands. I don't know. 12, maybe more. 12, maybe more. While I'd been working 16-hour days trying to keep our life together. Where? What? Where did you screw my wife? Eddie, I don't think... Hotels? Your place? My house? Never your house. I would never... How considerate of you. We sat in silence for a moment. The bar was getting busier, but our corner booth felt isolated from the rest of the room. What do you want from me? I asked finally. I want you to let her go. Excuse me? Monica wants a divorce. She wants to be with me. Fighting it is just going to make things harder for everyone. I stared at him. You think I'm fighting to keep a cheating wife? Aren't you? No, Brady. I'm fighting to keep my house, my dignity, and my self-respect. Monica can go wherever she wants, but she's not taking everything I've worked for with her. She's entitled to half of everything. She's entitled to half of what we built together. She's not entitled to destroy my life and walk away with a reward for doing it. Brady leaned forward. Look, I know this is hard, but Monica and we're good together. We make each other happy. Isn't that worth something? Sure, it's worth exactly half of whatever assets she's legally entitled to, not a penny more. That's not what I meant. I know what you meant. You meant that your happiness is more important than the fact that you both lied and cheated and manipulated to get it. You meant that I should just roll over and let you have whatever you want because you've decided you deserve it. It's not like that. It's exactly like that. I finished my beer and stood up. Thanks for the talk, Brady. It's been illuminating. Eddie, wait. I turned back. Monica's going to get what she wants either way. You can make this easy or you can make it hard, but the outcome's going to be the same. We'll see about that. I left him sitting in the booth, looking like he'd expected our conversation to go differently. Maybe he thought I'd be grateful for his honesty. Maybe he thought I'd just give up and walk away. He was about to learn how wrong he was. When I got back to Duke's apartment, he was waiting with a bottle of whiskey and a deck of cards. How'd it go? About like you'd expect. He wants me to roll over and play dead so he and Monica can ride off into the sunset together. What'd you tell him? I told him we'd see about that, Duke grinned. I like it, so what's the plan? I poured myself a drink and thought about it. Monica and Brady thought they held all the cards. They had money, lawyers, and witnesses. But they'd made one crucial mistake. They'd underestimated me. The plan, I said slowly, is to remind them that I didn't survive 3 tours in Middle East by giving up when things got tough. Now you're talking. What do you need? Information. I need to know everything about Brady Voss, his business, his finances, his weaknesses, everything. I can help with that. And I need to know exactly what Monica's been telling people about me, who she's talked to, what she said, what kind of case she's building. That might be trickier. I've got an idea about that too. Duke dealt the cards. This is going to get messy, isn't it? Probably. Good. I was getting bored anyway. We played poker until 2 in the morning, planning and strategizing. By the time I finally fell asleep on the couch, I had the beginnings of a plan. Monica and Brady wanted a war. They were about to get one. The next morning, I started with the basics. Brady Voss might be a CEO, but that just meant his information was more public than most people's. Corporate filings, business licenses, property records. It was all there if you knew where to look. Voss Industries was smaller than I'd expected. A mid-level tech consulting firm with about 50 employees and annual revenues in the low 8 figures. Successful, but not exactly Fortune 500. Brady owned 60% of the company, with the remaining 40% split between 2 business partners. More interesting was his personal life. The divorce he'd mentioned to Monica was finalized 6 months ago, right around the time their affair started. His ex-wife had gotten the house in the suburbs, the vacation condo, and a substantial alimony payment. Brady was living in a downtown loft that he was renting, not buying. In other words, Mr. CEO wasn't quite as financially solid as he'd led Monica to believe. Find something interesting? Duke asked, looking over my shoulder at the laptop screen. Maybe. Brady's not as rich as he pretends to be. His divorce cost him big time. How big? Big enough that taking on another man's wife probably isn't the smartest financial move he could make. I pulled up more records. Brady's business had taken a hit during the pandemic, like most companies. They'd laid off 15 employees and taken out a substantial loan to stay afloat. The loan payments were eating up most of their profit margin. So he's cash poor, and getting poorer, especially if he's been spending money on hotels and dinners with Monica. Think she knows? I doubt it. Monica's always been attracted to success and money. If she knew Brady was struggling financially, she might think twice about leaving me for him. Duke grinned. So we make sure she finds out. That's one option, but I've got a better idea. I closed the laptop and grabbed my keys. I need to make a few phone calls, and then I need to pay a visit to my house. You sure that's smart? Monica's lawyer said I can't kick anyone out without proper eviction procedures. He didn't say I can't go to my own house. What are you planning? A little psychological warfare. The house looked different when I pulled into the driveway. There were toys scattered across the front lawn, and Derek's beat-up pickup truck was parked where I usually put my car. The flower beds Monica had spent years cultivating were trampled and littered with cigarette butts. I used my key to let myself in. The smell hit me immediately, a combination of dirty diapers, stale beer, and something that might have been rotting food. The living room looked like a tornado had gone through it. My leather furniture was stained and scratched, and there were crayon marks on the walls. "Hello?" I called out. "Anyone home?" Lana appeared from the kitchen looking harried and exhausted. "Eddie, you scared me. Monica said you were staying somewhere else." "I am. I just needed to pick up some things." "Oh, well, Derek's not here. He went to look for work." "Sure he did. Where are the kids?" "Napping, thank God. They've been up since 5 this morning." I looked around the destroyed living room. "Lana, can I ask you something? I guess, do you really think this is fair to me?" She had the grace to look uncomfortable. "What do you mean?" "I mean, this is my house. I've been paying the mortgage for 10 years. I've never met you before last week, and now you're living in my home. Your boyfriend is drinking my beer, and your kids are destroying everything I've worked for." Monica said it was okay. Monica doesn't get to make that decision without asking me. Lana twisted her hands together. "I know it's not ideal, but we really didn't have anywhere else to go." Derek lost his job and we got evicted from our apartment, and Monica said family has to help family. What about Derek's family? They don't approve of our relationship. Why not? She looked even more uncomfortable. Derek's still technically married. His divorce isn't final yet. Of course he was. Monica had moved a married man into our house, along with his girlfriend and her kids. The situation just kept getting better. Lana, I need you to understand something. Monica and I are getting divorced. This house is going to be sold, probably within the next few months. You need to make other arrangements. But Monica says a lot of things. Most of them aren't true. I headed upstairs to the master bedroom, leaving Lana standing in the wreckage of my living room. The bedroom had been transformed, too. Monica's side of the closet was half empty, and there were boxes stacked in the corner. She was already packing. I went to my dresser and pulled out the bottom drawer where I kept important documents. The papers were still there: insurance policies, investment statements, the deed to the house. I photographed everything with my phone, then put the papers back. From the nightstand, I retrieved a small digital recorder I'd bought years ago for business meetings. It was voice-activated and could record for up to 12 hours. I slipped it under the mattress on Monica's side of the bed. Downstairs, I could hear one of the kids starting to cry. Lana was trying to comfort him, but her voice was getting more frantic by the minute. I went back downstairs and found her in the kitchen, holding a screaming toddler while trying to heat up a bottle. The sink was full of dirty dishes, and the counters were covered with food stains. Need help? I've got it, she said, but she clearly didn't. I took the bottle from her and tested the temperature. Too hot. I ran it under cold water for a few seconds, then handed it back. The toddler immediately stopped crying and started drinking. Thank you, Lana said quietly. Lana, can I ask you something else? Okay. Monica's been telling people that I'm abusive, that I've been threatening Derek and making your family feel unsafe. Is that true? She looked down at the floor. I don't know what to say. The truth would be good. You've never been anything but polite to us, but Monica says you have a temper, that you've been getting angrier and more controlling. Do I seem angry and controlling to you right now? No, you seem sad. That hit me harder than I'd expected. Yeah, I am sad. Monica says you don't love her anymore. Monica's been having an affair for 6 months. She moved your family into our house without asking me. She's been lying to me about where she goes and who she's with. How do you think I should feel about that? Lana's eyes filled with tears. I didn't know about the affair, but you knew something was wrong. I knew she was unhappy, but I thought it was just normal marriage problems. There's nothing normal about what Monica's been doing. The toddler had finished his bottle and was starting to get fussy again. Lana bounced him gently, but he wasn't having it. He needs his diaper changed, she said. Go ahead, I'll wait. While she was upstairs changing the baby, I looked around the kitchen. It was worse than the living room. The refrigerator was covered with drawings and magnets, but underneath the clutter, I could see the home Monica and I had built together. The backsplash we'd chosen together. The cabinets I'd installed myself. The window over the sink where she used to stand and watch the birds in the backyard. All of it was being destroyed, piece by piece. Lana came back downstairs with the baby, who was now happy and gurgling. Eddie, can I tell you something? Sure. Derek's not a bad guy. He's had a hard time lately. His wife was really mean to him, and he lost his job because of budget cuts, and he's trying to do right by me and the kids. But I don't think we should be staying here. It doesn't feel right, taking advantage of your problems with Monica. Then why don't you leave? Where would we go? We don't have any money, and Derek's divorce is costing him everything he had saved. Another piece of the puzzle clicked into place. Derek wasn't just unemployed. He was broke. And Lana wasn't just Monica's sister. She was Monica's excuse for creating chaos and distraction. Lana, what did Monica tell you about why I moved out? She said you got violent, that you threatened Derek and made her feel unsafe. Did Derek tell you I threatened him? He said you got in his face and acted like you wanted to fight him. What do you think happened? She looked uncomfortable again. I think you came home and found strangers living in your house without your permission, and you got upset about it. That's exactly what happened. But Monica says whatever serves her purposes. She's been lying to me for months. What makes you think she's telling you the truth? Before Lana could answer, we heard Derek's truck pulling into the driveway. A few minutes later, he came through the front door carrying a case of beer. Eddie, didn't expect to see you here. His tone was friendly, but there was something wary in his eyes, just picking up some things. Cool, cool. Hey, no hard feelings about the other day, right? I know this whole situation is weird for everyone. Right. Derek opened one of the beers and offered me one. I declined. So, Lana says you and Monica are getting divorced. That's right. That sucks, man. Divorce is rough. I should know, right? He laughed, but it sounded forced. How's your divorce going, Derek? Oh, you know, lawyers and paperwork and all that BS. My wife's trying to take me for everything I've got. Must be expensive. Tell me about it. Good thing Lana's got family willing to help us out. I looked at Lana, who was avoiding eye contact. Yeah, good thing. Derek took a long drink of his beer. So what's the plan here? I mean, long term. Lana's worried about where we're going to go when you guys sell the house. That's between Monica and her lawyer. Right. But you seem like a reasonable guy. I'm sure we can work something out. Work what out? Well, you know, maybe some kind of arrangement where we can stay until we get back on our feet. I've got some job prospects lined up, and once my divorce is final, I'll be able to access some assets that are tied up right now. What kind of assets? Derek's expression became evasive. Just some investments and stuff, nothing major, but enough to get us our own place. I had a feeling Derek's investments were about as real as his job prospects. I'll leave that between you and Monica, I said. Fair enough. But hey, if there's anything I can do to help out around here, just let me know. I'm pretty handy with tools and stuff. I looked around the destroyed kitchen. I can see that. Derek either missed the sarcasm or chose to ignore it. Yeah, well, kids can be rough on a place, but nothing that can't be fixed. Right. I finished gathering what I'd come for and headed toward the door. Lana followed me. Eddie? Yeah? I'm sorry about all of this. I know it's not fair to you. Thanks, Lana. That means something. If there's anything I can do, just think about what I said, okay? About Monica and the truth. She nodded, and I could see the wheels turning in her head. As I drove back to Duke's apartment, I thought about what I'd learned. Derek was broke and desperate. Lana was starting to have doubts about Monica's version of events. And Monica was already packing, which meant she was planning to move out soon. The question was, where was she planning to go? I had a feeling I already knew the answer. The next evening, I was parked across the street from Brady's downtown loft building, waiting. I'd been there for 2 hours, but patience was something the Army had taught me well. At 8:30, Monica's BMW pulled into the visitor parking area. She looked around nervously before getting out of the car, then hurried toward the building entrance. She was carrying an overnight bag. I waited another 30 minutes, then called her cell phone. Eddie, why are you calling me? Just wanted to see how you were doing. I'm fine. I'm at Tessa's place. We're having a girls' night. Tessa was Monica's best friend from work, and she lived on the other side of town. That sounds nice. Tell Tessa I said hi. I will. Was there something you needed? Just wanted to let you know I stopped by the house today. Had a nice talk with Lana. There was a pause. What kind of talk? Just getting to know my house guest better. She seems like a nice person. Derek, on the other hand. What about Derek? Did you know he's still married? Another pause. Longer this time. His divorce is almost final. That's not what Lana said. She said he's been dragging it out because he can't afford the settlement his wife is demanding. That's not my problem. It is when you move him into our house. Did you know his wife could claim that our house is a marital asset now, since Derek's been living there during their divorce proceedings? That's ridiculous. Maybe, but it's something my lawyer is looking into. I could hear her breathing getting faster. Eddie, what do you want? I want my wife to stop lying to me, but I think that ship has sailed. I'm not lying to you. Monica, I'm sitting outside Brady's building right now. I saw you go in 30 minutes ago. Silence. Still at Tessa's place? Eddie, I can explain. No need. I just wanted to confirm what I already knew. I hung up before she could respond. My phone rang immediately. I let it go to voicemail. It rang again and again. Finally, I answered. What? Eddie, please. We need to talk. We are talking. In person. This is complicated. It's really not. You're at your boyfriend's place, lying to me about it, just like you've been lying to me for months. It's not what you think. It's exactly what I think. Eddie, I'm coming home. We need to talk face to face. Don't bother. I'm not there. Where are you? That's not your concern anymore. I hung up again and turned off the phone. Then I drove back to Duke's place to wait for the next phase of my plan. The recorder I'd hidden under the mattress was voice-activated. If Monica brought Brady to our house, I'd have evidence of them together in our marital bed. If she brought Lana or Derek into the bedroom to coach them on what to say to lawyers, I'd have that too. Either way, I'd have something. Duke was waiting with Chinese takeout and updates on his research into Brady's business. "You're going to love this," he said, spreading papers across the kitchen table. "Brady's in deeper financial trouble than we thought." "How deep?" "Deep enough that he's been cooking the books to hide it from his business partners." Duke had contacts in the financial world from his pre-Army days as an accountant. He'd called in some favors to get a closer look at Voss Industries' finances. The company took out a loan for $2 million 18 months ago. According to the paperwork, it was for equipment upgrades and expansion, but the money went to cover operating expenses and Brady's personal debts. That's fraud. It gets better. The loan is secured by the company's assets, including their client contracts. If they default, the bank can seize everything. How close are they to defaulting? Based on their current burn rate, maybe 6 months. I sat back in my chair. So Brady's company is failing, and he's been hiding it from everyone. Including Monica, I'd guess. Definitely including Monica. She thinks she's trading up from a struggling security consultant to a successful CEO, when really she's trading down to a guy who's about to lose everything. The question is, how do we use this information? Duke grinned. I've got some ideas about that. We spent the next hour planning. By the time we were finished, I had a strategy that would expose both Brady's financial problems and Monica's lies. The next morning, I turned my phone back on. 17 missed calls from Monica, plus a dozen text messages ranging from apologetic to angry to desperate. I called her back. "Eddie, thank God, we need to talk." "I'm listening. Not over the phone, in person." "Fine. Murphy's Bar, 1 hour. That place is awful. Can't we meet somewhere nicer?" "Murphy's or nowhere?" She was already there when I arrived, sitting in the same booth where I'd met Brady. She looked tired and stressed, her usual perfect appearance slightly frayed around the edges. "Eddie, I'm sorry about last night." "Which part? The lying about where you were or the getting caught?" "All of it. I know how it looked. It looked like my wife was spending the night at her boyfriend's apartment while lying to me about it. It's not that simple." "Sure it is." She reached across the table and tried to take my hand. I pulled away. "Eddie, I love you." "No, you don't." "I do. I know I've made mistakes, but Monica, you've been screwing another man for 6 months. You moved your sister's family into our house to create a distraction. You've been telling people I'm abusive and controlling. Those aren't mistakes. That's a pattern of deliberate deception. I never said you were abusive." "Lana says different." Her face went pale. "What did Lana tell you? That you've been coaching her and Derek on what to say to make me look bad? That you've been building a case against me?" "That's not... I was just trying to protect myself." "From what? From your husband finding out you're a cheater and a liar?" She started crying, but I wasn't moved by it anymore. "Eddie, please, I made a mistake with Brady. But it's over now. I want to work on our marriage." "It's over?" "Yes, I ended it last night, after I caught you at his apartment." "The timing doesn't matter. What matters is that I chose you." I pulled out my phone and showed her a photo I'd taken that morning. It was Brady's car in our driveway. "You ended it, huh?" Her mouth fell open. "How did you—" "I had the house watched. Brady showed up at 7 this morning, left at 9:30. So either you ended it and he didn't get the message, or you're still lying to me." She put her head in her hands. "Eddie, I don't know what to do. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to move out of my house. Today. You're going to take your sister and her family with you. And you're going to stop lying to me, to your lawyer, and to anyone else who'll listen. I can't move out. I have nowhere to go. You have Brady's place. Brady and I? It's complicated." "Uncomplicate it." She looked up at me, and for the first time in months, I saw something that might have been genuine emotion in her eyes. "Eddie, Brady's not who I thought he was." "What do you mean?" "He's been lying to me about his finances, about his divorce, about everything." I felt a surge of satisfaction. "What kind of lies?" "He told me he was wealthy, that his company was doing great, that he could take care of me." "And?" "He's broke, Eddie. His company is failing, and he owes money everywhere. His ex-wife got almost everything in their divorce, and He's been living on credit cards and loans. So you're dumping him. I'm trying to, but he says he'll tell everyone about our affair if I leave him. He'll ruin my reputation. Your reputation's already ruined, Monica, at least with me. I know, but my job, my career, if this gets out, I'll lose everything. I almost felt sorry for her. Almost. You should have thought about that before you started sleeping with him. I know I screwed up, but Eddie, please, help me figure out how to fix this. Why would I help you? Because despite everything, I think you still care about me. She was wrong. I didn't care about her anymore. But I cared about getting my life back. And if helping her get rid of Brady served that purpose, I was willing to consider it. What kind of help are you talking about? Brady's threatening me. He says if I don't leave you and move in with him, he'll make sure I lose my job. How? He's got photos and videos of us together. He says he'll send them to my boss, to HR, to everyone. The same photos and videos you sent him voluntarily? Yes. The same photos and videos I found on your burner phone? She nodded miserably. Monica, you created this mess. You're going to have to figure out how to get out of it. But you could help. Brady's afraid of you. He should be. Eddie, please. I'll do whatever you want. I'll move out. I'll give you the house. I'll tell everyone the truth about what I did. Just help me get away from Brady. I sat back and considered her offer. Monica was finally ready to give me what I'd wanted all along, an admission of guilt and a clean break. But she was also asking me to solve a problem she'd created by cheating on me. What exactly are you asking me to do? Talk to him? Convince him to leave me alone? And if he won't listen, then I don't know what I'll do. I looked at my wife, soon-to-be ex-wife sitting across from me, finally understanding the consequences of her actions. She'd thought she could have it all, a stable marriage, an exciting affair, and a soft landing when she decided which man she preferred. Instead, she was about to lose everything. I'll think about it, I said finally. Eddie, I need an answer now. Brady's expecting me to move in with him this weekend. Then, you'd better hope I decide to help you. I left her sitting in the booth, probably for the last time. Whether I helped her or not, our marriage was over. But the question of how it ended and who came out ahead was still up in the air. As I drove back to Duke's place, I realized I was smiling for the first time in weeks. The game was finally getting interesting. I decided to help Monica, but not for the reasons she thought. Brady had made this personal when he'd threatened me and tried to convince me to just roll over. Now he was threatening Monica to get what he wanted. I didn't care about Monica anymore, but I had a serious problem with bullies. Plus, I had a plan that would solve multiple problems at once. You want to do what? Duke asked when I explained my idea. I want to expose Brady publicly. His financial problems, his threats, his pattern of manipulating women. All of it. And how exactly are you going to do that? By giving him exactly what he thinks he wants. The plan was complex, but the basics were simple. I would convince Monica to pretend to go along with Brady's demands. She would move in with him as requested, bringing along evidence of his threats and financial deception. Meanwhile, I would gather Brady's business partners and key clients for a meeting where the truth about his company's finances would come out. The result would be Brady losing everything, his company, his reputation, and his leverage over Monica in one coordinated strike. That's either brilliant or insane, Duke said. Probably both. The first step was getting Monica on board. I called her that evening. Eddie, did you decide? I'll help you, but we do this my way. What do you need me to do? Tell Brady you'll move in with him this weekend. Act like you're scared of me and desperate for his protection. I don't understand. You will. Just do exactly what I tell you when I tell you to do it. And this will get him to leave me alone? This will get him out of both our lives permanently. The next phase required Duke's help. His contacts in the financial world were able to arrange a meeting between Brady's business partners and their primary lender. The meeting was scheduled for Monday morning, ostensibly to discuss expanding their credit line. What Brady's partners didn't know was that the bank had already discovered the discrepancies in Voss Industries' books. They were planning to call in the loan immediately. Meanwhile, I had Monica plant a recording device in Brady's apartment. If he was going to threaten her, I wanted evidence of it. Eddie, I'm scared, Monica said when I called her Friday night. Brady's been drinking, and he's acting strange. Strange how? Possessive, angry. He keeps talking about how we're going to be together forever and how he's going to make sure you never bother us again. What does that mean? I don't know, but it scares me. Did you plant the recorder? Yes, it's in the bedroom, like you said. Good, just stick to the plan. One more weekend, and this will all be over. Saturday morning, I got a call from Lana. Eddie? Something's wrong. What do you mean? Derek's gone. He left early this morning with all his stuff. He said something about the situation getting too complicated. Did he say where he was going? Back to his wife. He said he was going to try to work things out with her. So Derek had finally figured out that staying in the middle of my divorce was a losing proposition. Smart man. What about you and the kids? I don't know. Monica said I could stay until she figured things out, but now she's moved in with Brady, and I don't know what's going to happen. Lana, I need to ask you something, and I need you to tell me the truth. Okay. Did Monica coach you on what to say about me being abusive or threatening? There was a long pause. Yes. What did she tell you to say? That you had a temper, that you made us feel unsafe, that Derek was afraid you might get violent? But none of that was true. No. You were always polite to us, even when you had every right to be angry. Why did you go along with it? Because Monica's my sister, and she said she needed my help. She said you were trying to take everything from her in the divorce. And now I think she was lying about that too. Lana, I want you to know that I'm not going to kick you and the kids out on the street. But I am going to sell the house, probably within the next few months. You need to make other arrangements. I understand. And Eddie? I'm sorry for all of it. Thanks. That means something. Sunday evening, Monica called in a panic. Eddie, something's wrong with Brady. He's been drinking all weekend and he's talking crazy. What kind of crazy? He keeps saying that you're trying to destroy him, that you're working with his business partners to take over his company. Am I? Are you? Not exactly, but I may have pointed his partners in the direction of some information they needed to see. What information? The truth about what Brady's been doing with their company's money? Eddie, what did you do? I did what needed to be done. Brady made this personal when he threatened me. Now he's going to face the consequences. He's going to blame me for this. Probably. That's why you need to get out of there. Tonight. I can't. He's not letting me leave. What do you mean, not letting you leave? He took my car keys. He says we need to stick together, that everyone's against us. This was escalating faster than I'd anticipated. Monica, where are you right now? In the bathroom. It's the only place he can't hear me. I'm coming to get you. No, he said if you show up, he'll call the police and tell them you're stalking us. Let him call them. I've got evidence of everything he's been doing. Eddie, I'm scared. For the first time in months, I believed her. Stay calm. I'm going to call Duke and we're going to come get you. If Brady tries to stop you from leaving, that's kidnapping. What if he gets violent? Then he'll discover that threatening an ex-Army Ranger's wife is a very bad idea. I hung up and called Duke. We've got a problem. 20 minutes later, we were parked outside Brady's building. I called Monica. We're here. Come down to the lobby. I can't. He's watching me. Where is he? Living room. He's been drinking whiskey and pacing around, talking to himself. About what? About how everyone's trying to destroy him. About how he's going to make them all pay. Monica, I need you to listen carefully. Go to the front door of the apartment and unlock it. Then go back to the bathroom and wait. What are you going to do? I'm going to come up and get you. Eddie, no. He might have a tool. Does he have a tool? I don't know. Maybe. Stay in the bathroom. We're coming up. Duke and I took the elevator to the 15th floor. The hallway was quiet, but I could hear voices coming from Brady's apartment. One voice, actually, Brady's, talking loudly to himself. I tried the door handle. Monica had unlocked it. Stay here, I told Duke. If this goes bad, call 911. Like hell, I'm staying here. We went in together. Brady was in the living room, pacing back and forth with a glass of whiskey in his hand. He was talking rapidly, his words slightly slurred. They think they can destroy me. They think they can take everything I've worked for, but I'll show them. I'll show all of them. Brady. He spun around, nearly dropping his glass. Eddie, what are you doing here? I'm here to get my wife. She's not your wife anymore. She's with me now. That's her choice to make, not yours. Brady set down his glass and faced me. He was drunk, but not falling down drunk, still dangerous. Monica chose me. She chose me because I can give her things you never could. Like what? Debt? Bankruptcy? A failing business? His face went red. You don't know what you're talking about. I know your company is broke. I know you've been cooking the books to hide it from your partners. I know your divorce left you with nothing, and you've been living on credit cards and lies. That's not true. It's all true. And tomorrow morning, when your partners meet with the bank, they're going to find out everything. You son of a witch. You did this. I just pointed them toward the truth. You did the rest yourself. Brady took a step toward me, his hands clenched into fists. You destroyed my life. No, Brady, you destroyed your own life when you decided to screw my wife and threaten me. She doesn't love you anymore. You're right, but she doesn't love you either. She loves the idea of you, the successful CEO who was going to take care of her, but that person doesn't exist. Shut up. Monica's been using you the same way you've been using her. The difference is she's smart enough to know when to cut her losses. I said shut up. Brady lunged at me, but he was drunk and clumsy. I sidestepped easily and grabbed his arm, twisting it behind his back and pushing him face first against the wall. Duke, get Monica. Duke disappeared down the hallway and returned a minute later with Monica, who looked terrified and relieved at the same time. Are you okay? I asked her. Yes, let's just go. Not yet. I pulled out my phone and called 911. I need to report a kidnapping. Eddie, no, Monica said. Let's just leave. He took your car keys and wouldn't let you leave. That's kidnapping. The police arrived 15 minutes later, along with paramedics who checked Monica for injuries. Brady was arrested for unlawful restraint and taken away in handcuffs, still ranting about how everyone was conspiring against him. What happens now? Monica asked as we watched the police car disappear down the street. Now you go home and pack your things. Really pack them this time. Where am I going to go? That's not my problem anymore. Eddie, I know I don't deserve your help, but you're right. You don't deserve my help. But I'm going to give you some advice anyway. What? Find a good lawyer, not the one you've been using, but a good one. Brady's going to blame you for everything that's about to happen to him, and he's going to try to drag you down with him. What's going to happen to him? His company's going to collapse. His partners are going to sue him for fraud. He's going to lose everything. And us? There is no us, Monica. There hasn't been for a long time. She started crying again, but this time it looked genuine. I'm sorry, Eddie, for all of it. I know you are, but sorry doesn't fix what you broke. Is there any chance at all that we could try again? I looked at her, really looked at her, and felt nothing. No anger, no sadness, no love. Just emptiness where my marriage used to be. No, Monica, there's no chance. She nodded and wiped her eyes. What about the house? What about it? Lana and the kids. Lana can stay until the house sells. After that, she's on her own. Thank you. Don't thank me. I'm not doing it for you. Duke drove Monica back to the house to get her car. I followed in my own car, making sure she actually left. She packed quickly, throwing clothes and personal items into suitcases without much thought to organization. Lana helped her load the car, both women crying. It would have been touching if I'd still cared. Where will you go? Lana asked. I don't know. A hotel for now, I guess. You could stay with Tessa. Tessa's not speaking to me. Brady sent her some photos. Of course he had. Brady had probably sent the photos to everyone Monica knew, just like he'd threatened. Monica finished loading her car and walked over to me. Eddie? What? I really am sorry. I know. Do you think you'll ever be able to forgive me? Maybe someday, but forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting, and it doesn't mean giving you another chance to hurt me. She nodded and got in her car. I watched her drive away, probably for the last time. How do you feel? Duke asked. Free. The next morning, Brady's business partners discovered the extent of his financial deception. Voss Industries was bankrupt, and Brady had been using company funds to finance his personal lifestyle, including his affair with Monica. The bank called in their loan immediately. Brady's partners filed fraud charges. Within a week, the company was dissolved, and Brady was facing criminal prosecution. The local business journal ran a front-page story about the collapse of Voss Industries. Monica's name was mentioned as Brady's alleged romantic partner, along with speculation that the affair had contributed to Brady's poor business decisions. Monica's career at TechFlow ended quietly. She resigned before she could be fired, citing personal reasons. I heard through mutual acquaintances that she'd moved back in with her parents in another state. Brady was eventually convicted of embezzlement and fraud. He served 18 months in minimum security prison and was ordered to pay restitution to his former partners and the bank. He lost his downtown loft, his car, and what remained of his reputation. As for me, I kept the house. Lana and her kids stayed for another 3 months while she got back on her feet and found a job. Derek never came back, and his divorce was finalized while he was trying to reconcile with his wife. My security consulting business recovered as the economy improved. I hired 2 employees and expanded into corporate consulting. I was busier than I'd been in years, and more successful than I'd ever been. 6 months after Monica left, I ran into her at a coffee shop downtown. She looked older, tired, but somehow more genuine than she had in years. Eddie, Monica, how are you? Good, really good. I'm glad. We stood there awkwardly for a moment. I heard about your business, that it's doing well. It is. I'm happy for you. Thanks. Eddie, I want you to know that I'm in therapy. I'm trying to understand why I did what I did. Why I threw away everything good in my life for something that was never real. That's good, Monica. I hope it helps. It is helping. I'm learning a lot about myself. Not all of it is pleasant. Growth rarely is. I know this doesn't matter now, but I want you to know that I loved you. I did love you, even when I was destroying our marriage. I believe you. Do you think what we had was real? Or was I just fooling myself about that too? It was real. For a while, it was real. She smiled, and for a moment I saw the woman I'd fallen in love with 12 years ago. Thank you for that. Take care of yourself, Monica. You too, Eddie. I watched her walk away and realized I felt something I hadn't expected: peace. The marriage was over, but it had ended the way it needed to end, with truth, consequences, and a clear understanding of who was responsible for what. Brady had lost everything because he'd tried to build his life on lies and manipulation. Monica had lost everything because she'd chosen immediate gratification over long-term commitment. And I had won everything back because I'd refused to let them destroy me without a fight. Sometimes the good guys actually do win,